Did Baylor basketball just have the perfect day in the transfer portal?
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Bears fans. Welcome to a breaking news edition bonus episode of Locked On Baylor. I'm your host, Cam Stewart of ESPN Central Texas and the Cam Show on YouTube. It's brought to you by Game Time Today. And the breaking news on this Monday night on Locked On Baylor is that Obi Agbim has finally committed to the Baylor Bears. He makes it official on social media Monday night. He comes in from Wyoming via 4 years of junior college basketball, 3 different schools, a year at Wyoming, and one of the very best available players in the entire country. Top 20 guy in the transfer portal, according to multiple outlets. Some would even say he's the best guy that was available. I showed this the other day from Arman Jovic, who does a lot of portal stuff. And you just look at the numbers. It just, you don't need to look much more than that, right? 6'3" guard, 17 and a half a game, was first team all Mountain West newcomer of the year. Over 3 rebounds, over 3 assists, shoots at basically 50% from the floor and 44% from 3 on 6 attempts, which is a pretty, hefty kind of serving size there. Like, that this kid is a shooter and he is a stone cold scorer, man. We talked about him a little bit on the show the other day. Don't know why it took this long. I mean, not that it was a terribly long time. It was just weird that we saw the 100% crystal balled, a week and a half ago. He was crystal balled to Baylor 100%. And he makes that commitment on the last day of March here. And I don't know if it is a money thing or if it is a fit thing, because again, I didn't want it to sound cynical when I talked about that. But he's got other programs, knocking down his door as soon as his season ended. But this guy with one more year of eligibility, he's got a chance to make some money in college basketball after 4 seasons of JUCO ball. Like that would have made a lot of sense if he was holding out for some money and kind of weighing all his options. That's what college basketball is these days. But I mean, you talk about impact player right away. Obi Agbim is that and then some. Okay, like he was getting interest from everywhere. And again, the almost 18 points a game, like that's how you get that. It's not easy to just go out and get these guys out of the portal. And I think this is a pretty solid day for Baylor. I think you picked up 2 starters on Monday, with Obi Agbim making this commitment as well. And then you got Ratai from Oregon State. And so you automatically add 2 starters to your roster right then and there. That's a pretty big deal. He was getting interest from a lot of other high major schools. This is a kid who did not obviously have a lot of offers out of high school, but a 4-star, 95 rated transfer portal commitment that you just got. And this is still a long road for Scott Drew in putting this team together. It's not made up by 1 or 2 guys. And I know there are going to be fans who, and myself included in this, that don't love getting, more guys with only 1 year of eligibility. But on the flip side of that, what are you going to say no? You're going to say no to Obi Agbim? It's just like the conundrum that they have with these one and done high school players. Like, okay, you're going to stop recruiting VJ Edgecombe? You stop recruiting Yves Missi? Bottom line is you need players and you need talent. Those are 2 different things. And you got 2 talented players in the transfer portal on Monday with Obi Agbim and Ratai there. So that's 2 guys who automatically slot into your starting lineup. This is certainly a guy who would play off the ball if Rob Wright stays. I think they can complement each other really well. Obi can do it from all over the floor, and we talked about the 44% 3-point shooting. That's something Baylor really, really desperately needed this past year and did not get. Right. They didn't have the 3-point shooting year they thought they were going to out of guys like Jaden Nunn, out of Jalen Celestine, out of Jeremy Roach. I know the numbers for Nunn ended up being okay, but you look back and watch it, these guys were non-factors on the offensive end. Obi's a guy who isn't afraid to be a factor. He's not afraid to shoot. He is certainly a guy who will boost your offense right away just by having the ball in his hand. 14 shots a game, again, hitting about 47% last year. Overall, like, that's a dude right there. Baylor needs some dudes. It was not a great year for Wyoming. It was usually a solid enough program. But this is the guy from the Mountain West. So big time pickup for the Bears. We kind of knew this was coming. It was any moment now for days and days and days. And we're all just kind of the Mr. Bean looking at our watch like, yep, any moment now, Obi Agbim. And the thing that kind of got me about this whole process with Obi is more often than not, Scott Drew does get these guys once they're rumored to Baylor. Like, he tries to keep those things under wraps. So usually when it comes out that there's serious interest from Baylor, that these guys usually end up there. But we also saw Jonas Adu 100% crystal ball to Baylor last year. And that's all I could think of as this went day after day. Probably not even a bad deal, right? This is how it happens. The kid's got options. But I just remember being so jacked last year after, you got Jeremy Roach, that Jonas Adu was next, and you didn't end up getting him. You got Norchad Omier instead, who was pretty good, probably had a better season than Jonas Adu. But it was one of those where you were like, damn, man, come on. And then it didn't happen at the end. Revisiting the whole eligibility, you would like to see Baylor attack this portal for guys who have flexibility, who have term, who have years to grow in this program. But you also do need some guys who have been around the block a few times. And most of all, you need talent. You added 2 guys today who averaged more than 16 points a game. Both guys were first team all conference. Obviously Agbim was newcomer of the year in the Mountain West. Tough to just look at both of them having 1 year left and really, cratering this deal and just being like, what is Scott Drew doing? So this is a huge addition for the Bears. It's far from the end of the road, but maybe the dominoes have started to fall here with Ratai and Agbim in the same day, kind of back to back. 2 guys with some serious talent that had plenty of interest around the Power 4, to land those in the same day after having a down year, in which you might have less money to go into next year with this new salary cap, revenue sharing, and with a lot of players leaving your program. It wasn't like this is as hot as Baylor's been the last couple of years, and yet you still nabbed 2 of the top scorers at their positions in the portal. You got a wing and you got a big enough guard. I think that's a good start. Obviously, you need some front court depth, and I wouldn't be surprised if Scott Drew goes for a little more term and some of those guys, taking some flyers on some younger big guys, unlike what he did last year with Norchad Omier. Not that was a bad call, but I just think it's going to be different this year. But this is a big time pickup, man. This is a bigger pickup than Ratai. No offense to him, but this is massive, and I'm fascinated to see not only who else they get in the portal, obviously, but what this does for Rob Wright's decision, because I think those guys can be in the same backcourt and play pretty well. Although Agbim had a lot of the ball in his hands last year at Wyoming, so it's going to be exciting. It's going to be thrilling. What do you guys think of this pickup? Let me know in the comments below. Where else do you think they need to go and find some guys? Let me know in the comments. If you're not watching on YouTube, be sure to tweet at us at Locked On Baylor. We'll look at them all there too. Where are you guys looking? Any other players, any other positions that you're looking at? Do let me know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. Find our other videos up here of some of the other guys that have left, some of the other ones that have committed. And we will keep the finger on the pulse of Scott Drew's transfer portal rodeo all off season long right here on your favorite show, Thank you for making it your first, second, and third listen every day. Locked On Baylor.